Okay, hello. I am, let me see if I'm recording. Okay, sound seems to be on. I'm in the airport in Turkey, Istanbul, I love it. I am, well, not at the airport. I'm going to open a file, and I hope to find it here. It's called Conceptual Issues. And let me see if there it is, Conceptual Exercises. And I'm going to show you my program. This is going to be another file, and I kind of go nuts about this simplistic formula for the PE ratio. It's going to be about PE ratios and inflation. And we're going to show more problems with the famous McKinsey valuation formula, which was a value equals 1 minus G divided by ROIC divided by wacc minus G times NOPAT. That's what they use. Or if you want to say value equals 1 minus G divided by ROE divided by K minus G times E. Oops. Somebody dropped their case. By the way, I'm on my way to Ramallah. I've never been there. And we can call this P for value. And then we say, I'm worried about my passport. Well, I don't want to get it stamped. Okay, so that's our... Now, when we... Here, I'm going to demonstrate that this... The formula does not work with inflation. That's what we're going to show. Okay. Alt-H. Okay, and then I'm going to make a little example. Now, when we make a little example, maybe there'll be a little review. Okay, so, I've done this so many thousands of times. I start with ROE, and then just a minute. What's slowing it down there? What is yield co-analysis? Excuse me. And then I put G. Then I put K, G, and then we know that dividend payout ratio is. So let's say this is in a low inflation environment. Let's say that's 6%, the K is 4.5%, and the G is 1. Okay? So dividend payout ratio is 1 minus G divided by ROE. Okay? We pay out 81% of our dividends, our money in dividends. And I don't think this is an accidental kind of situation. Everybody wants a much higher return. You always get a higher return. There are all these philosophical issues about whether you can really sustain it now. I think I have my generic macros open. And by the way, I think if you don't like this color, let's say I want to put color option. Where's my color option? Shit. Oh, yeah. This, excuse me. Let's put color option 6. Have to type implement, I think. Shift Control C. And then we get a different color. color option. I added that in, add a couple of very minor things in to here. That's not a complicated macro at all. And then let's do our model. Now we're going to just demonstrate kind of that the value driver formula does work in some circumstances. We don't have anything changed, and then we need a book value. And that's really the problem with book value. What happens to the book value with inflation? And let's put our opening book value and ROE, the net income, less the dividends, and put those in. Okay. Let's start with 0, put Alt-IS at 300. Okay, that's my standard kind of assumption, because it can't go forever in the model just because Excel doesn't work. So I'm just putting in the return, and then I'm putting in a payout ratio, and then our formula for closing balance is this. Shift Control R, Shift Control 1 rounds that, and then we can get our value. This is our P, and this has the dividends at the cost of capital. And, you know, here's what my friend Oki, he said, why don't you name some of those ranges? Huh. Well, I already named it, I guess. Okay, so we put Libra, NPV, and the UK, and we take all the dividends, and that's our value on our P. That value divided by interesting that we have this, and this is no inflation. Now let's put in inflation. Okay, and let's put this in our formula. Okay, now let's say there's a 3% inflation. Shift Control P. So if there's a 3% inflation, your growth rate is going to go. How about this? Let's Shift Control 3. No, that's 3. Okay. This is going to be this one plus the inflation. Well, let's stop that one. I can't copy this down now. Shit. This one times 1 plus the inflation. Cost of capital is going to go up. And I get to this wrong. It's this times sorry, 1 plus the cost of capital times 1 plus the inflation rate minus 1. Okay, and the growth rate is the same thing. 1 plus the real growth times 1 plus the inflation minus 1. Shift Control P. Okay, now I at first said, oh well, let's just do this. Let's put this times 1 plus the inflation rate, so we can hit Okay. There we go. Now, if we could use our value driver formula, and we would put the formula, well, there's a range name, it might be maximum minus g divided by, okay, put in g divided by ROE divided by k minus okay, and get the same now. So that all works. Now what we can do is just apply this now with the inflation rate. But no inflation. Okay, and then we put the inflation rate, and we say the value driver formula is 1 plus the growth rate that includes the inflation divided by the ROE that also includes the inflation divided by the cost of capital that's got the inflation in it minus the growth that has the inflation in it. And you get a much higher PE ratio. Now, there is an error here. This double counts this ROE can't have both in it. So you still get did I do something wrong? I thought I was going to get a lower PE. Just a minute. Okay, I'm going to try to get a little more interesting with this video, get more emotional. First of all, I made a mistake. This was 1 minus G divided by ROE. And then we divide this whole thing by the K minus the G. And I get 8.89. Now if we did the same thing, if we put inflation into this, and we still get a whole lot lower of a peak. Now here's the big question. This is the enormous question. Is this really right? Every time you have inflation, you get a lower peak. So this alt IM, this seems to suggest that value is lower with inflation. Now, to really kind of understand what's happening, let's take our normal again. Let's just put this down. Now, if we still are going to start with 10, and this time we're going to multiply this opening balance by this, and then now we're going to have a lower, because we have growth, because we have to get our, it seems that we have to make more growth because of inflation. If we do all of this, I forgot to press the F1, Shift Control R, and we put our NPV of this time with the K. Use the range name. Okay, Shift Control 1. We have our PE ratio, which is divided by the net income. So what happened is, if you look at this, what happened is the dividends went down because we needed to support the growth. We needed to have a higher growth rate, so we couldn't pay all our money in dividends. There's a different relationship between cash flow that you get and dividends that you pay, so you can start explaining, this is all okay. Now it's not. Okay? By the way, and if I get in trouble for that asshole who complains all the time, why in the hell people watch my videos if they know I take little digressions here. If we want to show our comments, just make a little box. Okay. And then put it, maybe we'll put a comment, put it through here, and then shift control 3, and we'll put put this to the comment. And then what we do is we assign a macro to it, and put if the range comment, then application, show just a minute, display comment indicator, put true, let's say comment and indicator, else we'll put the same thing. That's how fast we can make a little comment. Sorry for the digression. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm going to show a couple of comments here. Whoops. Okay. Of course, I'm too fast. Show a comment now. Okay, so this one, just to review, verifies that relation between investments and earnings changes where okay, suggests lower PE. Now let's get a little more confused. Okay, now let's this off, and okay, so now we put inflation model. Now, how about we put a simple dividend model? Now, if we pay out all our dividends, okay, so we'll just put 100, and we'll put no inflation. Okay, let's put 100. Oh, come on. Put this. Okay, well, whatever. Take this one, shift control R, and value is NPV, and we go to our cost of capital without inflation to put it in, and then with inflation we put our same starting point, and we multiply that by plus the inflation rate. Okay. There's a bird in here, that's pretty cool. And we put a value. We put our new cost of capital in, shift space bar. Okay, I think I have to take this one, excuse me. Seems to be screwing me. we had to start in, and I had to start in the next one. So this is whatever. Okay. And then value divided by cash flow. We put this one divided by this one, and we get the same thing. Okay. Our cash flow divided by cash flow. So we get exactly the same thing. Okay. So the question is, now we start questioning. Okay, so this shows that now it shows that we have multi-M this seems to be a little contradiction. Shows value the same, okay, which in fact this one did as well. We have the same value, but we have a different PE ratio. Okay, now let's try. Here is where I think we're going to show you that in fact, if your intuition says this is wrong, that there shouldn't be this much of a difference, I think that's going to be the correct answer. Okay, now let's say that we're going to use this model with no inflation. So I'm going to put repeat model no inflation. Now I think I'm going to have to stop sometime. Okay, let's put it's easier to do it like this. Okay, now after we do this model, what we're going to do is when I multiply this by the ROE, and multiply this by the dividend payout ratio, we'll say dividend payout ratio, and we take this one minus this. I've only done this about 8 gazillion times. Maybe that much. Okay, now if we do, now let's say we have foreign currency with higher inflation. So what we're going to do is take our company and just restate the earnings and restate the assets and put it in foreign currency. Now, let's say foreign inflation is, we'll put it up here. We'll use just our inflation rate. Okay, and then we put we'll put this as 0 for domestic inflation. Now when we do this, the first rule, I think, is we put a PPP, and then let's put current exchange rate, let's make it 50. Okay, kind of like the Philippines, right? And then let's put our PPP exchange rate. Now once we do that, when we do this, I think you'll see where I'm going with this. Is that this dividend here is, we don't change these dividends when we translate it to a foreign currency with much higher inflation. 5% inflation, and then we seem to have the PE ratio goes down. Now this one, let me say, we just, oops, no, let's put 3%. Here's what I just suggested. If we put in inflation into the law. No. I'm wrong. The value has to be the same. We have to put a higher ROE to compensate for our inflation. It seems to double count the growth, and maybe really that's what's happening here. This growth isn't really this growth is 5.5%. No, that doesn't work either. Okay. Now, let's put this in. And here's where I interrupted myself rudely. So we multiplied by our own inflation rate. Currency we're converting it to, and then divide by 1 minus the domestic currency. Okay, so we have this. Now when we do that, we're still going to have the same dividends and the same income. Okay, but to make everything balance and make our balance sheet balanced, there's going to be a currency translation. And the way we put our currency translation factor is we take here's what you do. You take this one times this one, not divided by the first one, but divided by the second one. Okay, and then we here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to pause.